Morning student. Today we are going to start semester 4th BO 241 paper first, plant anatomy and embryology. So first we discuss on this course in relation to their syllabus that this course must be completed within 30 lectures, that is 2 credits. So first we see that this course includes near about different chapters. Number 1, that is introduction. Number 2, epidermal tissue system. Number 3, mechanical tissue system. Number 4, vascular tissue system. Number 5, normal secondary growth. Number 6, anomalous secondary growth. Number 7, in embryology, that is introduction. Number 8, microsporangium and male gametophyte. Number 9, megasporangium and female gametophyte. Number 10, that is pollination and fertilization. And next number, that is endosperm and embryo. So these are different chapters coming under this course. So this lecture, first we see first chapter in this course, that is introduction to plant anatomy. So first we see introduction, definition and brief history of this plant anatomy. Plant anatomy is the study of gross internal structure of plant organs by the technique of section cutting. Anatomy, ana means ajumber, tenium means to cut, that is deals with the study of internal structure of the various organs of the plants. Hence it is also called as internal morphology. It deals with the structure of cells that makes the basic units of all living organisms, including plants. Sometimes the term histology is used as synonymous for anatomy. The term histology deals with the minute internal structure like cellular arrangements, tissues and tissue systems. On the other side, gross internal structure, steels, vascular skeletons, leaf trace and branch tree systems do not come under histology. Anatomy is really concerned with both minute and gross internal details. Thus, histology is covered by anatomy. The serious study on anatomy actually started with the intervention of microscope in second half of the 16th century. Some of the following are histological works in plant anatomy. Ancient civilization, including ancient Hindus of India, distinguished 5 regions in the body of the plant called TVAC means skin, mansa means soft tissue or bast, asti means wood or bones, majja means teeth and fibers in the bast, in more details further divided into bark and bast fibers. Okay. The Theophrastus in 371 to 285 BC coined the term xylem and phloem. Is called founder of plant anatomy. Then Robert Hooke 1668 observed bottle cork under a microscope and noted cellular nature of plants. Then Grieve in 1641 to 1712 published his work under the title The Anatomy of Plants and discussed the gross structure of plants and compared the vascular skeleton of plants with that of animals. He introduced the term like parenchyma, vessels and cortex, etc. Then Marcello Malpighi in 1628 to 1694 he discovered the spiral vessels and the stomata and published the work as Anatomy Plantarum. Then C.F. Marbel 1776 to 1854 he worked on origin of cells and method of formation of vessels. He published a theory of plant organization. Okay. Then next Robert Brown in 1773 to 1858 he discovered nucleus in the skin of orchid leaves. Then next Hugo von Malp 1805 to 1872 discovered the importance of protoplasm in plant cells. He worked on nature, on formation of vessels, structure of epidermis, lenticels, cork and bark, and also traced the course of vascular bundles in stem and leaves. Then Carl von Nageli in 1817 to 1891 he worked on developmental aspects and particularly on primary and secondary meristems, the cellular details of xylem and phloem. He is called founder of modern plant anatomy. Okay. Then Anton de Berry in 1831 to 1888 he was a student of fungi but extensively worked on plant anatomy and published his work on comparative anatomy of phanerogams and ferns in 1877. Then Edward van Tegem 1839 to 1914 he proposed Steeler theory. He worked on various types of steels and explained them on the basis of comparative morphology and phylogeny. Then I.W. Bailey 1954 worked extensively on various aspects of plant anatomy and published a book, Contribution to Plant Anatomy, in 1954. Next, Foster A.S. he has published important work on comparative morphology and anatomy of plants. K. Issue she published one of the most famous publication which is revised called Anatomy of Seed Plants in 1959 and 1976. Then Cutter E.G. he has published one of the most famous book on plant anatomy in 2 volumes as Plant Anatomy Experiments and Interpretations, Part 1st Cells and Tissues and Part 2nd Organs in 1969 and 1971. So these are the some brief historical works in plant anatomy by some famous scientist. Then after that next point, that is scope of plant anatomy. Plant anatomy is less complex than animal anatomy, but functionally it is most powerful because of presence of some special cellular structure in plant body. Plants have huge diversity externally as well as internally, and thus they are making most beautiful work of flowers and other vegetative parts. Plant anatomy has scope in understanding simplicity of plant to the complexity of cellular detail present in giant plant like redwood tree that composed of billions of specialized cells. Plant anatomy plays important role in understanding plant life as a whole in following respects. Number 1. Plants have greater diversity with reference to the structure of the plant body. From single-celled algae like Chlorella, Chlamydomonas, etc. to the big tree like banyan or bamboos to giant gymnosperms like Sequoia, Pinus, Cedrus, etc. Thus, to understand taxonomy, anatomy is one of the most important instruments. Then, next, plants have complexity in cellular detail and the whole internal functional setup of the plant perform functions like photosynthesis, respiration, absorption, transpiration, transportation of food and minerals, fats and nitrogen metabolism, carbon utilization, formation of flowers, etc. is part of study of plant physiology. Anatomy helps in understanding functional internal setup at cellular tissue level, tissue system and coordination between organs for success of plant life. Okay. The next, plants have long evolutionary history called phylogeny of plants. To study evolution at cellular and tissue level, knowledge of anatomy plays major role. It helps to know how plants from single cell to the highly complex structure developed in the process of the evolution. The next, plants adopt various environmental regimes. The anatomical studies help to know the characters necessary for adaptations at external and internal morphological levels. The plants like hydrophytes, xerophytes, halophytes, mesophytes, etc. get adapted to the local environment from fresh water to the marine water bodies. Most beautiful environmental conditions to the harsh conditions plants grow because of special tissues present in them. Thus, setup of environment and distribution of plants in part of study of plant ecology, where anatomy acts as main player in better understanding of relation of environmental with that of the plants. Okay. Then next, there are variety of Ayurvedic drugs materials that are plant in origin. This subject has great scope in presence Ayurvedic drugs preparation to avoid adulteration of drugs. The study of medicinal plants and relation aspects is a science of pharmacognosy. The study of microscopic and macroscopic characters of plant drugs, the production of primary and secondary metabolites valuable in making of drugs can be understood well by knowing internal details where anatomy has significance. Okay. The next, timber industry is one of the biggest global industry. The woods are important material of plant and correct identification of wood is a greater significance for economy of wood industry. The identification of wood is only possible by detailed anatomical studies, as every wood species has particular cellular details. Thus, plant anatomy has scope in this neglected but valuable economic areas. Cytology takes into consideration a variety of cells types and cell organelles, how they are working, called Understanding Functional Aspects of Cells and Cell Organelles. Anatomy has one of the branch where all cellular details and related cell functions at cell organelles levels is taken into consideration. Thus, parenchyma, sclerenchyma, collenchyma, xylem, phloem, and so many other cell types and their coordinated functions is a part of study of plant anatomy. Okay. Morphogenesis takes into consideration developmental history of plants. Plant anatomy studies are concerned with understanding various concepts of meristems, the zonation and structural development, histogenesis of organs, shoots, roots, and flowers are becomes increasingly acting as a coordinated systems. Modern plant anatomy with improved instruments and technical devices opening several unsolved details of plant cells. Thus, plant anatomy has scope in knowing most of the details of the plant's life and functions of at micro level also. Plant anatomy is a real instrument in knowing scope of other branches of botany. Okay, thank you.